My name is Abigail and I live in London. I got married when I was just 21 years old. It was a love marriage. My husband's name was Walter. He was a calm and kind man. He never spoke loudly and he always seemed polite. But his mother, Mrs. Sophia Henderson, didn't like me from the very first day. She made it clear that I was not welcome in her home. I tried everything to make her happy. I was a very simple girl. I didn't expect much. I cleaned the house, cooked dinner, and respected everyone. I greeted her every morning with a smile and touched her feet as a sign of respect. I loved her like my own mother. But in return, I never received a smile, not even once. Her eyes were cold, and her words were always sharp. I had a soft and caring heart, but her home felt like a place with no love. After 1 year of marriage, I got pregnant. I was very happy. I began to imagine my future with my child. I thought about his first words, his tiny fingers, his sweet smile. Every night, I would put my hand on my belly and talk to my baby. But in the 7th month, something went terribly wrong. One morning, I felt a sudden pain in my stomach. I cried out in fear and pain. I screamed. My husband took me to the hospital. My hands were on my belly and I prayed to God, "Please save my baby, please." After a while, the doctor came out. His face looked serious. He sat beside me and said, "I am very sorry. Your baby did not survive." At that moment, time stopped for me. I couldn't move. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't even cry. My baby, my world, was gone before I ever got to hold him. After that day, I was not the same. I became weak. My body hurt, but my heart hurt more. I stayed inside my room. I didn't talk. I didn't eat. I just cried quietly. My mother-in-law stood outside my door and said loudly, "She is unlucky. She brought death into this house." Her words hurt me. I wanted someone to hold me and tell me it wasn't my fault, but I received only hate. My husband, Walter, slowly became distant. He no longer asked how I felt. When I cried, he didn't try to make me feel better. He just turned away from me. I was falling apart, and he didn't even notice. One day he came into the bedroom and said, "Maybe you're just not meant to be a mother." My heart broke. That night I cried and cried until I had no tears left. I held my pillow and asked God, "Why me?" Months passed. I went to doctors. I took every medicine. I prayed every single night, but still I couldn't get pregnant again. Then one evening, during dinner, my mother-in-law shouted in front of the whole family, "She will never give us a child. She is useless." My heart broke. I felt so small, like I didn't matter at all. I ran to my room and locked the door. I cried and cried until my whole body hurt. I felt empty. I felt like I wasn't a real woman. I felt invisible in that house. No one came to ask me how I was, not even Walter. I was all alone with my pain, and then something happened that destroyed my life completely. One day, my mother-in-law told Walter she's meeting someone else. That's why she doesn't want a baby. It was a lie, but Walter believed her. He looked at me with cold eyes and said, "I want to divorce Abigail. Leave this house tonight." I was frozen. My heart stopped beating for a second. I slowly packed my things. My hands were shaking. I wanted to scream, but I did nothing. I walked out of that house alone, like trash thrown away, and just like that, my world fell apart. I had nowhere to go, no family to help, no one to call. I rented a small room on a quiet street to survive. I needed money to pay rent, buy food, so I began working at a small gift shop. Then one afternoon, a man walked into the shop. His name was Walker. He asked for a birthday card. He saw my red eyes. He asked, "Are you okay?" I tried to speak, but my tears came first. I shook my head. He didn't ask more. He just gave me a kind look and left. But the next day, he came again, and the day after that, too. He didn't ask too many questions. He just sat, talked, and listened. For the first time in a long time, I felt seen. I felt normal again. Walker was not like others. He never judged me. He never told me to move on. He just sat beside me quietly. Sometimes we spoke. Sometimes we sat in silence. And that silence was comfortable. After a year of friendship, Walker held my hand and said, "I want to build a future with you. Will you marry me?" I cried happy tears and said, "Yes." 2 months after our wedding, I felt something new inside me. I went to the doctor. This time, when I came out, I was crying again, but these were tears of joy. I was pregnant. This time, Walker held my hand, stayed with me the whole time. Every doctor's visit, every pain, every fear, he was there. 9 months later, I gave birth to a healthy baby boy. The first cry I heard was the most beautiful sound of my life. The nurse placed him in my arms. I looked into his eyes and whispered, "You are my miracle." We named him Edward Walker. Years passed. Edward grew fast. He was kind, smart, and loving, just like Walker. One day, his school called me for a meeting. I held Edward's hand and walked into the principal's office. I froze. Sitting behind the desk was Walter, my ex-husband. He looked at me, then at Edward. His eyes were full of shock and regret. He stood up slowly and said, "Abigail?" I nodded. He looked at Edward again and asked, "Is he your son?" I said, "Yes, he is my son." Walter said nothing, but I saw his eyes fill with tears. Maybe he remembered everything. Maybe he understood what he had lost. But I was not that broken girl anymore. I had peace. I had my life. Now I live in Bristol. I run a small center for women who feel broken, just like I once did. Women who have lost babies. Women who are blamed and judged. I sit with them. I listen to them. I hold their hands and say, "You are not broken. You are not unlucky. You are strong. God has a plan for you." Sometimes pain comes before joy. People said I was useless, but today I am a mother. I am a woman of strength. If you liked this story, please like, comment, share, and subscribe.